and then you have to write a verse where just talk about
about
how
about what you said.
that's right.
You know what's
So
crazy? We should start that in the rock world where I'm like it could be like, yo, fucking.
Atreyu and God forbid on the same stream. It's like
Oh
him
my
well, here's
god.
the
18
thing. There was
again.
beef in Orange County. Y'all
There
were
was,
beefing
but
with
it was
all
never like that.
public.
It was never like, yo, new Bad Wolves track is garbage. If I see you, I'm gonna straight fuck you up. Like hip
Well,
hop
no,
is like, yo, I don't like your shit. I'm gonna beat your ass if I see you. I'm gonna
well,
kill you.
usually it's this dude's whack. Then the other person says, "I heard what you say. Keep your name out of my mouth. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't, it's gonna be a problem." Then so it
Then
elevates.
murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There was
but
some.
yeah,
We had Orange County beef. Well, everyone had beef with us.
I
Like
know. Well, you know why? Because you guys got successful really quick.
people don't like that.
No, they're like, you ain't paid your dues, son.
You guys have only been a band for like 4 years. Yeah,
It's
dude.
like,
People were mad at
we
us.
got paid with on our first show. They paid us in dirt.
We got PETA.
We had pizza with dirt on it, and we liked it.
Hate, 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 hate. Yeah, that was definitely beef. But you know what's funny is, I guess actually I can't even. I got to rewind because we had Orange County beef with like 18 Visions, but it was because of an actual fight. Like their friends got in a fight with our friends at our show.
Yeah, but that was like cruise and stuff, right? Wasn't that the
Kind of.
whole straight edge tough
Yeah, yeah,
guy?
yeah, yes and no, but it like wasn't though. The story goes, we had a show at Chain Reaction, and all of my brother's friends would come to our shows. My brother and all his friends were like party dude, like
Shout out to your
stoners.
brother.
Shouts, dude. Love the dude. Still
Is he
killing
still
it.
tall and handsome?
So tall, the most beautiful beard you've ever seen.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Um, but him and all his friends would come to the shows and they would just fuck shit up because like they were like our cheerleaders, you know, like come to the show and go nuts so that everyone else will.
Got a windmill, pick up that change, right? It ain't gonna pick
Straight
up
up,
itself.
straight up. It's just gonna stay there, you know. But they came and they all made shirts that said YLDC. It was Your Belinda Death Squad, and it was like a joke. Like it was a joke. We're from Your
Yeah, yeah.
Belinda.
Your Belinda's a soft ass name. The only
Yeah,
other softer California name for a town is Sherman Oaks,
straight
right?
up.
You never heard Sherman Oaks hardcore. Like
No,
that's just no.
no, no,
That's just
no. Your Belinda. The
that shit is soft.
slogan.
Soft as Charmin.
Yeah, the slogan for Your Belinda is the land of gracious living.
I bet it is. It
Yeah,
sounds very
it's
gracious.
lovely. But you know, they did that. So the only reason why it was like a crew thing, because it was like, oh, it was like the South County like Monster Crew guys against the Wild Death Crew guys. And it was like, oh, okay, that's not a thing, but
Mm.
but all right. But then like that beef lasted for like 4 years, and then we toured together, and they were like, "That's dumb," and we're like, "Yeah, we thought so too." And then we're like, "Tight, should we get some burritos?" And then it was over.
It was like, yo, can you hand me some of your hair dye because I
Yeah,
really like it.
yeah. Can you style me up, James,
What
please?
kind of guy liner do you use?
We talked about that yesterday on stream. I had my buddy Phil who used to play in Story of the Year. He's in like Goldfinger and all that shit. And he was like, we're talking about who the bands that are the most outwardly Orange County. And I think
Hmm.
James is the most obviously OC dude I've ever met.
Well, I mean, to this day,
Still,
okay.
like I mean, he's always been the exact same, but like he
I mean,
talks.
does he button his shirt up to the top?
I would say so.
Does he? Hold on here, but here's the thing: to be truly OC, you need to have a soul patch till like the day you die.
He's never not had one.
Okay, okay,
Straight
just
up.
check.
That's always like that's a thing that I've even been like, he's still got that soul pack. He's
Okay,
still killing it. Yeah, but he's definitely the most OC dude I've ever met. I would say.
listen, I mean, we make fun of John Berkland in our band because we call it like sometimes he gets in his like going out character. It's Orange County douchebag. We just kind of just we just we rib him lightly about it. It's
Yeah,
very endearing.
I like that though. You got it. Where is he from? Orange County.
No, he's from Massachusetts, but he moved to Santa Barbara when he was like, I guess in like middle school or something like
Okay,
that. So he has adopted the California lifestyle, I would say.
gotcha. That makes sense. It's adoptable. It's adoptable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. There's another like this is another tidbit from our past that I think is funny that I don't think I ever even told any of you guys, but it's hilarious. I remember on Ozfest, and we had recorded the curse, but it wasn't out yet, and maybe it just came out or something happened, and I think you guys we maybe let you hear the record early, or maybe you had just heard it. I think we let you hear it early, and we had this song called "You Eclipsed," and you came up and you were like, "Bro, this riff, that fucking you're like that riff, bro," and I was like, "Oh, that's tight." That riff was 100% me writing a God Forbid riff.
It's a good riff.
100%. I was like, because dude, the reason why, I mean, I've told you this before too, but the reason why we did our first record at Trax East with Eric Rachel, because like we were like, yo, these God Forbid records sound dope. Like they're like a metal band, but it kind of sounds punk and like kind of raw, but it's dope. And like we recorded our first record with who we did because of God Forbid. So like there's that obviously influence, but like literally it was like we need like a dope God Forbid riff. And it's funny that like the first person that was like, "Yo, this riff is dope," was you.
By the way, isn't that a little narcissistic? Is that the thing I point out that I like is the thing that is most like myself? Is that kind of embarrassing?
Yeah, I like that. I like it.
but
I like that.
but like, do you guys? I mean, what track was that on the record? It was pretty early in the track listing, right?
Track 3 or 4 or something like that.
So, but when you play it live, though, was it a banger? Were people feeling that shit?
Hard, bro.
Okay.
That shit went hard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The riffs don't lie. I mean, if the people are feeling it, and that record is up there, like one of my favorites. That and then the Paper Anchors and Lead Bells. Those are like probably my two favorites, because I like that record because you guys go up, like you discovered this whole different sound on that record. You went, plus the production on that. Ooh, clean.
Feldman, bro.
Clean, baby. Feldman. Yo, shout out to Feldman.
Shouts out to
Send me some money. Send me some money, bro.
Yo, people though, they heard that ref and they went fucking crazy. And you can't deny that. You can't.
And I wouldn't. I would never dare to deny it.
But no, I mean it's definitely early record. But I found that funny, and I don't think I ever told you that it was my attempt at a God Forbid riff. But
it was not an attempt, sir. It was a rousing success. Actually, I have a borrowed / influence / steal story about Lamb of God. Mm-hmm. So the first song God Forbid wrote for our album Gone Forever was the opening track. It was called Force Fed, right? And the main riff is right. That's the first, and we had demos and we were playing it live. And Lamb of God, for their album As the Palace Burn, the last song they wrote was called 11th Hour. And the reason why the song is called 11th Hour, because they wrote it at the last minute, at the 11th hour. Yeah. And the chorus riff on it is but they honestly, it's a cooler riff. It's a hookier riff.
There's just a little bit more off time. Isn't there? It's kind of like a
no. It's the same. It's that same triplet.
Yeah.
It's basically the same idea, except they just change where they go to the chord change. But even though the chord change is the same, but what makes it sick is the tag. Is the
yeah.
And I mean, and it's one of the sickest Lamb of God songs, period. I mean, there's like 12 riffs in that song, and every one is sicker than the next. And I would never say we wrote a better song, but at least I can say the God Forbid vibe, it was felt. Mm-hmm. All right? It was felt amongst...
felt it from you.
Listen, and if someone jacks you... Actually, I have another story. One day, Rob Flynn from Machine Head gives me a call, and he goes, "Yo, I just totally jacked God Forbid's riff for the song he wrote for the Roadrunner United track." So there's a song, I think it's called Independent, and it's with Max Cavalera singing. And he actually took a little more than a riff. So the song Broken Promise.
Yeah.
Down to down, down to down, down, down. That's the way it's song. So it literally starts exactly like that, and then he borrows the bridge riff, the kind of Anthraxy, but the thing is, I don't get mad. Like, I get excited because Rob Flynn's one of my musical heroes.
Yeah.
So when one of your musical heroes is like you're influencing them, but that they influenced you. It's this very like circular thing of, to me, it's a form of validation that you're doing
Yeah.
cool things. Not like, why did you take my thing? Like, no, that's like, that makes me excited.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't give a fuck. That's definitely happened with us as well. But the funny thing about it is, at least Rob called you and was like, "Yo, I stole your riff," and like gave you props. Even if
Yeah.
it was just to you. I love personally when a band will straight up jack your shit, but never say to anyone that there was even influence.
I'll do. So I've been doing this thing on my podcast where so the reason I had Dallas on, but I had the other guys from God Forbid on. I had guys from my other bands, and I would break down a song that was one of my favorite songs, and we talk about it. And and through this, I'll tell you every part, what we were ripping off, or where an idea came from. And a lot of times, people think influence is, I think fans maybe don't understand how it really works. Like the way I use influence is more, I'll borrow song structure ideas. Like I had this one song, and it didn't even ended up, the final version didn't end up this way, but I borrowed the song structure from Alice in Chains' Rooster. And the song structure, because most songs, right, is intro, verse, chorus, bridge, whatever, chorus.
Yeah.
But Rooster, it's a really long verse, then it's a pre-chorus, then a chorus, then a solo, then a second chorus, or pre-chorus, chorus, then the second verse comes in like 4.5 minutes in the song, and then it's long verse. Yes, then long verse, and then final pre-chorus, chorus.
Yeah.
So I borrowed that. It didn't end up working that way, but those are things that I try and borrow more than like, I'm just gonna take this part, which I think is the lazy way of it being influenced.
For sure, you can't just do full bite. Well,
I mean, you can.
You can. Dan has come to the. He's actually the king of this. He'll get it in his head that he'll take the inspo when he's like high as fuck, and then like bring it to the table, and we're like, "That's the Scorpions," and he's like, "What?" And you're like, "That is the Scorpions," and he's like, "Oh fuck." He's like, "That's fine, no." Like, no, you have to change it a little bit.
You just gotta. Here's the thing. Just try and lie a little bit. Just try and just put. It's like, okay, you took the sign. Now just put like some shrubbery in front of there. Put like a little potted plant, so we can't see that you stole the sign.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to see the bottom where you can see it was ripped out of the ground. Like you gotta hide that at least. I love that shit. One of my mods, Annie, just posted your podcast link in our chat.
Thank you. Go check it out. What's funny? No, I've had no Atreyu gentleman on the show yet, so I need someone. Who you actually knows the funny. I think the reason why I haven't had anyone on the show is that I'm like equally friendly with everyone in the band. Usually, it's like if I have someone on the show, it's because that's definitely like my homie in the band. But I love all you guys, so I almost feel like if I chose someone or picked someone first, the other guy would feel like, yo, how come he didn't ask me on the show? So maybe I need to do like a Atreyu week, like a gangbang. I just get all you guys right.
Like 5 episodes in a row, and then have our new drummer on that you've never met, because you probably have a lot to talk about.
Okay, listen, man. I would love to. Actually, I had this idea for a podcast, but purely for comedy reasons, was I wanted to get all the former Trivium drummers on one show. And I kind of floated it to Paulo, and I was like, I didn't think he was feeling that much.
You're like, what are your thoughts? You get the 3 dots in the text message and then no response.
Yeah, it might not go, but I think just purely for comedy reasons, just like, okay, guys, just trash him. All right, just tell them all the dirty secrets right now.
But the funny thing is, you could be like, but don't, or take the total approach where each dude, you're just like, what did you do? Yeah, what did you do?
Here's the thing. I'm so close to the band, I kind of know every guy's situation.
Hilarious to straight up ask a dude why he got kicked out of a band.
Yeah. It would be an experiment. We would see. But here's the thing. And the thing about my show is it's the X-Man. So a lot of times it's ex-members of bands. Yeah. But as you know, that gets really tough where if you, so let's say someone leaves a band and there's tensions, if I go and just get someone who just left a band, then maybe the other people in the band be like, yo man, what's up, why are you, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like a divorce, like taking sides. So I have to be very careful, and I try not to exploit that stuff for clicks and views, because I could
Yeah.
get really in that, but I try not to.
That's good. Hey, but you know what? Like, that's also your show too. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
I'll say this: I did hit up Alex immediately after that.
I
I was like,
100.
yo, that was the one dude. You know, I was like, Alex, come on, talk some shit. All right, just let me know. All right, you let me know. I'm trying to get paid, baby.
Yeah, let me get them clicks. Yeah, bro. We've had the most. We've attempted to have the most PC lineup change of all time. Well, I've talked about this in press already, where I'm just like, I just don't care. Like, I don't want the dramatics. I don't want the thing. I mean, you guys seem like you're similarly going through the same thing, where it's like you try. It's there's no reason for people to fuck everyone over, like you
Well,
said earlier, kind of.
can I ask you this? So right now, what we're dealing with is basically a kind of civil war situation where we don't have a new singer yet. So there's this kind of empty seat, more or less. So we kind of represent a question mark, right?
Yeah.
Where obviously Tommy represents himself, and people know what that is. It's like a defined thing, and so many, I would say, a plurality of the fans identify him with the band. So every time we post anything, it's like we're just getting shit on. Like people get on my DMs, you're gonna fucking fail. Like, did that happen to you? Did you guys get people really coming at you hard that were your fans, quote unquote?
Sort of. I think there was a lot of people. There's obvious, like, I love. We like made kind of a joke about it, like when we first released the first single, and like, people would we posted a new single, and people would post like, "No Alex, no Atreyu," and then
Yeah,
we're like, quite the contrary. Here's our new single. If you look above, there's the new single. So it's still very
yeah.
much. Yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry.
So
It's
how is the feedback in terms of uh like views and Spotify and stuff like that? Was it good?
is fortunately enough was overwhelmingly good.
Okay.
To be honest, and I'm very transparent with this sort of side of the details. I mean, Alex was involved in writing that song. He was
Okay.
involved in writing, a handful of the songs on the what will be the next record. So, you know, I think that people hear it, and this isn't a slight on him at all, but a lot of people will hear that song and not even think twice about anything. They'll just be
Yeah.
like, okay, dope, new Atreyu. You know what I mean?
So are you doing some heavy vocals as well to kind of give that, or are you just gonna do your thing?
No, I'm doing some heavy vocals, but Porter's taking over,
Gotcha.
like the lion's share of the heavy stuff. But the reason we decided to go the route we did and not get someone new, like a new singer, was one, because I've been one of the singers for the whole time. So like, people are used to hearing my voice. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people associate my voice with Atreyu.
But
So
you
to
would get
bring
like
it,
a screamer, quote unquote.
yeah, and we already had one though. I mean, Porter has been screaming live and on album. Like, he's been screaming on the last four albums. Like, whether it be actual parts or like doubling, you know what I mean? Like, his voice is all over everything. So people already know his voice also. So like, we kind of took the route of just putting me up front, highlighting his voice even more. And like, I think a lot of people think that we're gonna put out like a pop record, but like, they're gonna be so wrong. Like it, but because I mean, we took Porter's voice is fucking brutal. Like, that dude has one of the gnarliest voices I've ever heard, and it just like comes out of him. So we just highlighted that more, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but I
I
mean,
think
we
I
obviously got shit, but it wasn't that bad.
yeah,
Honestly,
we're getting
I got shit.
yeah, we're getting trashed. And there's a lot of support too, but it's also very early.
Of
As they say,
course.
the wound is fresh, and it's you've seen, we can go through the history of bands changing singers and how often it's worked, how often it hasn't worked,
Yeah.
and it's just it is a very trepidatious time where we're all trying to figure it out, but we're being in the social media realm, right? If this was 15 years ago, you split with singer, you put out a press release, and then people wouldn't hear from you until you had a singer.
Yeah.
You know, and but now you're expected to kind of engage and have this, and I feel like if we just did disappear, right? If we just like said, hey, we're just gonna go blank on social media, I think that wouldn't be good either, because then people would be like, well, what's up, guys? Are you there? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out how to relate to the fans without feeling like we're kind of poking the bear, you know?
For sure. I think that you guys are gonna. I mean, any band they're gonna. You guys have so many fans that don't give a shit. They're not like member specific. They just dig Bad Wolves because they hear your shit all over the radio and like they go to shows and they whatever. It's like they don't care. So like to go dark, I think is a hard thing. We had to go. We didn't go dark, but we weren't talking about nothing. And then like stuff kind of started happening online that like made people think there was some shit going on, but we still weren't saying nothing because we couldn't, we didn't want to, and like it wasn't time yet. Like we wanted to make sure that we had new music to show people because this leads me to what I was gonna say is like you just let the music do the talking. You know what I mean? Like people they're gonna talk shit, they're gonna say whatever, but you put a new song out, if it's a fucking ripper and it's crushing on radio and doing what it does, they're going to listen to it or they're not. But it's like that's kind of the only thing you need to worry about people worrying about. You know what I mean? It's like
I mean it ultimately, if the songs are good, if the live show is good, if the videos are good, if you're doing the work behind the scenes, you're making good t-shirts and artwork that connects, if you're doing all these things. So, and that's really at the end of the day, I say if we pick the wrong person, it's not going to work. If we don't write good songs, it's not going to work. So the ball's in our court, and we just have to make the right decisions and do good work. So, and in that respect, it's up to us. So if we fumble it, then we fumbled it. So, but we're definitely busting our ass, and we have a fucking amazing team behind us, and that's without that, I think it would be way harder.
Absolutely. I mean, we had the same thing. I mean, you know what you without having to talk about details, you know what all the shit that we have to go through in order to do these things entails, and it's a lot of information and back and forth and this and that. So you have to have a team that you can trust and know that has your best interests and is willing to work for it. You know.
Well, the Better Noise group in 10th Street, I mean, they work with Five Finger, Motley Crue, Papa Roach, Nothing More, Breaking Benjamin. I mean, it's really the upper tier of I think Ice Nine Kills is part of the so they pretty much run that whole active rock game, and they understand how it works. So if we can't make it here, then we probably can't anywhere.
You got the right people involved. This dude in my chat just said, "Problem solved, dude. Just get James Hart. He's available."
James Hart. What's funny is that name did come up, so you never know. I mean, truth be told, we're open-minded.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of look at anyone, I think, but like anything else, and this is just the evolution of not only the business changing, but also people like you and myself learning about the business in this kind of understanding branding.
Yeah.
And you can, like, we've had some people make submissions and they sound great, but it just doesn't quite sound like the same band. So it's needs to be in a certain wheelhouse where you feel like, oh, I'm listening. It still feels like Bad Wolves. So listen, you never know. But there's definitely a certain style of singing and a versatility and a look and all that stuff has to make sense.
Yeah.
For us to really, so it feels coherent. And it's not easy because you don't want to make the wrong choice and all of a sudden a year later you're having to do it again. That's how bands end.
And that was also a huge thing for us. It was like our drummer Kyle, he played in my other band, Hell or High Water. He's my best friend. Like I've toured with him extensively in like a van, a RV, a bus, every way you can do it. I've made like I've roughed it with him. I've had great like you know what I mean. We've done it all on and off tour, and then last summer he came out. We went to Europe. Last summer we went to Europe, and Alex had fucked up his back. So like 3 days before we went to Europe, he had found out he couldn't go, and we had to go play all these festivals and shit with the lineup we have now. But it was like, oh, okay, now we've toured with you in this band in like Europe during summer in a shitty bus. You know what I mean? It's like you've been through like the lows of touring like with this dude, and it was still really, really good energy and like a good vibe, and it sounded good, and we knew what the deal was. But like that would be the worst thing ever if we had to fucking try to find a singer that wasn't one of us, and then like it didn't work. Like we had that conversation. Like you pick someone that doesn't work, like that's not going to work for a singer. I don't think it work. I mean, for a drummer, it might be a little bit less obvious because it's like most people can't tell who's playing drums. You know what I mean? Like if you're not looking at it, but it's like, you're right though. Like that would just be a fucking nightmare. Like, hey guys, we changed, and I know you guys were getting used to that, but we're gonna go ahead and just get you again. We're gonna hit you again with another one. Just forget that last one.
Yeah, these are these challenging times are the times that kind of define your character, what you're made of, um, and I always say like these times you almost wish you could fast forward to when you have it all figured out, but there's no
Yes.
shortcuts.
No.
There's no shortcuts in kind of dealing with that, waking up going, am I, it's funny. I think about this idea of confidence versus being questioning, right? And for me, I'm very much, I kind of waver between these two, you know, I feel like last week it was extremes. I was an emotional roller coaster. Now it's a bit more like tempered, but you need to have that thing. You get up the first thing you go, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Nothing will stop me. Like just that affirmation, right? And that's what, and seeing the vision at the end of it and say, okay, we're going to do this. We won't be stopped. And then someone's going to come and doubt you and tell you you're going to fail. And you have to push through that because there's this other thing in the back of your head, this thing called doubt.
Yes.
That says, hey, maybe it's not going to work out. Hey, maybe you're not good enough.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And so, but that in a sense has its utility too, because at least it keeps you honest and it says, okay, let's not be so one directional where we're not actually doing our due diligence to actually ask all the right questions. All right, is this the right choice? So I try and kind of maintain some balance because I think you can have a sense of toxic positivity where you're so like, this is what it is, where you're almost not seeing the signs. So I'm trying to kind of balance that and also stay connected with the guys. Like we're jamming today, right after this, and we're not even rehearsing for a thing. We're just playing because it's important that we perform as a band and connect on that level and just
keep
be
the blade sharp, you know?
Yeah, we'll just be a unit and just be a group of people, because if split off, you get into your bullshit. But if you that strength of, to me, I believe in that very romantic idea of a band, of being a gang, being a family, being like you against the world, and that's how it feels right now. So it's really important that we lean on each other,
absolutely,
during times like these, and really have each other's back.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree. We literally took the same approach. I mean, the hardest time that we had going through this whole thing was when we didn't have shit to do. You know what I mean? And like
but you have to make shit to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like but it was like it happened. We had things, but it wasn't like we didn't have to get together to do anything. You know what I mean? Because we all live. Porter lives in fucking Alabama. You know what I mean? Like Kyle, our drummer, lives in down south in Carlsbad. Dan's in fucking Corona. Like we're all spread out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we have our central, like our headquarters, and it was like cool to like have to get together a few days a week and have like practice and jam and like eat dinner and like, you know what I mean? Like just like you said, be a unit, and that really helped. Like I went through it hard because I mean, like I said before, like we didn't get a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit when this all happened because like everyone just assumed that it was my decision. I did this. It's my ego. It's my everything. So shit spun me out. I'm not I don't have anxiety. I don't suffer from depression. I don't do any of that shit. Like I'm just you fucking hung around with me enough to know. Like I'm just kind of a fucking smiley dude about 99% of the time.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know. Listen, I don't think you can ever assume what anyone is dealing with internally.
Of course.
And me, I deal with those issues, but only with regard to situations,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm not clinically depressed. I don't have clinical anxiety.
Yeah.
But if I have a situation that is out of hand that will make me anxious, it will be a temporary state where I have to deal with that. And I
100%.
have been dealing with that. And it's like, how do you kind of figure that out? And with us, there was like a culture war political dimension
Mm-hmm.
that has really activated a certain group of people as well that don't really have the full story, which is really unfortunate as well because obviously we're dealing with all this political turmoil that is outside of our music, right? It's this other thing of just people hating each other on social media in general, and it's a real shame that had to get dragged into band stuff, what couldn't be further, which should be the furthest thing from that.
Unless you're like a fucking political band, like unless you're
Yes.
an anti-flag,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, or like
Rage Against the
Rage Against
Machine
the
or
Machine, like people don't come here for that, you know?
Fever 333. They're all
Yeah,
about it.
for sure. But it's like like you don't go to fucking like you don't go to a steakhouse for fucking ramen. You know what I mean? Like people don't listen to Bad Wolves to hear about politics. People don't listen to Atreyu to hear about politics.
I mean, I will say this though, our lyrics, there are songs, the first song on the first album, Officer Down, has, speaks on stuff like that. So I wouldn't say lyrically like it's completely removed, but the impetus of the band, and a lot of stuff came from Zoltan, from Five Finger, who was managing the band, was like, he was putting out an idea that we should be kind of above that,
Mm-hmm.
that like that it should be, we can talk about these things, but it should be really about everyone, that like we're speaking to everyone and we're not taking sides, and we're not, and I think, and I have my ideas politically, but I never feel like that should ward off someone from wanting to listen to the band, or think that I can think certain things, but I don't, it doesn't mean I don't think you should be welcome to our show if we disagree, or right. So it's a tough balance, because you want to be, especially from a lyrical standpoint, you want to be honest,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
at the same time, do you want to, you have to decide, do you want to go so far in one direction where it might alienate certain people? And everyone has to make that decision for themselves.
For sure. And I just think that, I mean, we've had, touches of, I wouldn't even call them political, but I would say like socially aware topics, and we've straddled the line a couple times, but it's like, I've always thought that like art is a thing to come enjoy, for people to like come in and enjoy. Like politics is not,
it's entertainment.
Politics is not something that in my eyes isn't like an enjoyable topic. Like I don't love if someone's sitting at a dinner table with 10 of their friends and someone goes like, oh man, I found this new painter, this new artist, he's sick, like check out this stuff on Instagram. It's gonna start a very neutral and calm conversation. But if someone's like, fucking Republicans, like, or whatever it is, like that conversation always sucks. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
so it's one of those things.
I like politics. It's fun for me because I'm a nerd about it, so I can sit there and have a debate with someone or have a talk about it. But it's also, there's a time and there's a place for that. Yeah. And I think what you're talking about is the culture war, right? Is the us versus them. If you're on the blue team, then this. If you're on red team, this. If you wear this thing, then that means you're with these people. And it's very much about getting into what they used to call wedge issues. These things that just, you bring something up and it like sends a spike through someone's back, for sure. Metaphorically. Where it's like now, and they're up in arms and they're ready to fight. And that's of course that's not fun at all.
But it does make sense in the last 4 years, but especially in the last year, why those moments have become so much more stinging and gotten so much more of a rise out of anyone. Like I think me, like many people, was just so tired of everything that anytime something came up about the president or anything, I was just like so numb and dumbfounded that I was like, I don't even want to talk to you about this. Like
Yeah.
I don't even want to like yeah like, I don't even want to do this anymore. But like but I do with music with me like I like to enjoy music. I like music to make me feel happy or fucking hyped up or if it's mad like it's just because the song is loud and it makes me mad and the lyric connects. I don't want to think about like I don't want to think about politics. You know what I mean? Like, I like a few anti-flag songs. They're a great band, but I don't. That's not the kind of shit that I want to listen to because I'm like, just want to just want to party, man.
That's right.
If I could say it so eloquently, you know,
It's. I mean, that's about as eloquent as it gets.
as
I
it
think.
comes, yeah, as it comes. But it's good though. I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see you guys like still. I mean, I'm following the social media and all that stuff, and like seeing that you guys are remaining active and like we're in the fucking rehearsing, we're chilling with this and that. Like, I think that view from the outside in is a cool view because it's like it shows you guys' strength and it shows. I mean, there's more to one person in a band. You know what I mean? Like, people can't think that because one thing leaves that then the band is over. There's still the rest of you that are very passionate, very hungry, and very talented. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah, we
I think you're doing it right.
So to kind of pivot off that, we started a Patreon page back at the beginning of the pandemic, and was filtering all this content, be it live performances or acoustic stuff or cover songs. But we also started doing these live streams,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lot of fans. Maybe it's not even a lot. It's actually a really small contingent who maybe didn't join up or get into the band because of us particularly, but over the course, I got to know the guys in the band more intimately and then became fans of us. So I think with the fan base at large, it's our job really to tell a new story and to essentially introduce ourselves to them and let them get to know us.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there really has been much of an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, fan base is what makes someone really, and especially in today's day and age, which is about social media and all this kind of connectiveness, is them really getting to know you on a personal level. Back in the day, you could be a band like Tool, where there's no pictures and there's no documentaries and there's
Yeah.
no, or even Slayer was like that, right? There was never like a Slayer documentary. It was about keeping the band mysterious.
Yeah.
And I think, you have bands like Ghost who can do that, or certain bands can be that way. But with the kind of band we are and the type of personalities we have, I think it's important to actually showcase that.
Yeah.
And that's going to take time.
For sure.
It's just it's on us to kind of figure out a way to do that, but do it in a positive way where we're not talking shit, where we're not like down in the dumps and like complaining about how hard it is and how sad we are. That's not going to help either. So we're trying to find ways to do it in as positive and as a broad way with music, though, because it can't just be a kind of personality display. The music has to be sick. So
For sure, but at this day and age, like you said, like because of social media and the fact that if you want to be on social media, you lose some of your mystique or whatever it is, and that's fine. But you can still have some privacy and some whatever. But like you only show what you want of your personality. But people also, I think, are enjoying the personalities in bands as well. Like it's drawing people closer to a band. There's people that might see a video on Instagram that they thought was funny and be like, "What the fuck is this dude's funny? What is he? What is this guy? Oh, he's in a band." Like that shit happens. You know what I mean? Like so, I think it's cool for people to finally get to know everyone in your band and enjoy your personalities and get to know those things too because it's just something more to attach themselves to. You know?
yeah,
Which is dope. I think that shit is tight. That shit's tight.
so tight.
Yeah, it's good though. That's awesome, man. I'm good to see that you guys are going well, doing well, handling everything well. I think you guys are gonna have no problem with fucking making more great music and just continuing to crush.
We got some tunes, baby. We got some tunes.
Oh, I fucking know. You guys have 9,000 more fucking #1 singles. Like it's so funny. Our boy Robbie, who's also your boy.
Yeah, our sound guy. Shout out to Robbie Brown
Shout
Sounds.
out to Robbie, the most stony dude I've ever met in my life, but the best dude. So good.
Best dude.
He he would always like I like always know. I mean, I've followed you guys because I'm always like paying attention to like radio, and I'm one of the dudes in the band that's kind of like always just looking at what's current, and you know what I mean, just knowing what's going on. And I knew everything that was going on with Bad Wolves. I knew like all the singles, and I knew everything, but I didn't like fully know, and I didn't like fully understand like the magnitude until hanging with like Robbie and him talking about Bad Wolves tours and this and that, whatever. And I'm like, what what? Like they have how many songs in a row? Was what like the shows were what? I like didn't fully understand like how much you guys crush. So I don't think that that's going to change.
Well, one song at a time. So whatever the first single release with a new singer is, if that has success in that in the radio realm, I think that will definitely be a notch on our belt. But you can't get there till you get there, and let's as I say, let's not start sucking each other's dicks yet, gentlemen.
I think that's a fantastic little closer right there. That's good. They were asking if you have Twitch, which you don't have Twitch. But if Annie could post his podcast link again, that'd be great. You can check out Doc's podcast all the time. It's on Spotify or wherever else you want to listen to podcasts.
Well, I will tell you this. So through our Patreon, our guitar player Chris downloaded Ecamm Live and started doing it basically like Twitch. So then I started doing that. I just did a show yesterday, what I call the anatomy of a song, where I actually took the fans through all the demos of like here's how the song started and this is what it became, and I explained every version of the song. And so once I kind of familiarized myself with some of the technology, definitely Twitch is something I would be interested in but I also want to kind of check out some other channels, see how people do it, see what people connect to.
I think you have the upper hand with being a guitar player too, because
Just doing
especially
guitar stuff.
doing guitar stuff, like playing your own shit, but also like you're also a very knowledgeable guitar player that like knows songs. Like you're kind of one of those dudes that just like you've learned a million fucking songs in your life. Like
I
having
heard
a
don't they take down cover songs. I've heard that they'll like mute you or something.
if you're playing along to it, it doesn't always get caught, but
Yeah,
it's just they just mute the replay.
the
And
replays.
you can get in trouble, but like every one I've ever done that where I sing like the intro music that I played entering my stream, I can only play so much shit because if I play Atreyu, they'll just mute it.
Yeah.
But like not the whole stream, just wherever that song's playing. So it's give and take whatever they catch. Annie, thank you for that. Annie just linked to you guys' Patreon as well. Definitely go follow that. You can get some sort of some Twitch feeling on that. I like that's cool that you're doing that with the Patreon too. We've talked about that, but we just my band is just too scatterbrained. Like...
Well, it's honestly became kind of our day job once all this happened, in a way to kind of connect to fans. I mean, part of it, I feel that I want to create more content that is not just for Patreon, because I feel like we're kind of not including as many people, and that's something now I think we can kind of attach some efforts and resources in that regard. It'll be hard for us to do some things until we get a singer, but I just think right now, between now and the summer, we're still booked on this Disturbed Stain tour. If it happens, and if everything, the vaccines and all that, it's kind of a TBD. But if all that happens, if we basically have this runway of time where you have to do all this stuff, and like what you're doing with Twitch, we as creators and public figures and all that stuff, you have to find ways to constantly innovate and reach people, especially in this climate, because guess what? Eventually touring will come back, but it doesn't mean all this stuff should stop.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely something that like we've discussed it too. Like, you think about being on tour. What the fuck do we do on tour? Nada.
I mean, I'm pretty busy. I'm pretty busy on tour.
I wake up, I fucking sound check, I eat some lunch, I do a VIP, I do a show. Maybe I have like some other shit press or whatever, but there's at least a few hours a day where you're just like sitting in a dressing room or whatever, it's like, oh, this is perfect for tour to keep you like sane and busy and connected.
Yeah.
And there's also the opportunities too to do awesome streams from your shows.
You
know
could
what I mean?
stream
Like,
your sound checks.
literally, like, and I've taken big notes from Heafy. Like, he was my fucking guru when I
Yeah.
started this, and was like, told me exactly what to do. And I was like, oh, I don't have any of the gear on my computer with this and that. He's like, fucking, who gives a shit? Just start streaming. He's like, people don't care. It'll grow. They'll grow with you as you grow, and it's a totally different thing now. But it's like, this is something awesome that we can do on tour that really keeps fans connected. And like, even if you did like a band Twitch, it's the same thing as like almost doing a Patreon, but just like a little bit more accessible. But it's like having stuff where you do stream your sound check, stream a show. You know what I mean? Like, you could do stuff where you like do special edition stuff where it's like, oh, we're streaming tonight's show in fucking Jersey, and just tonight, if you're watching the Twitch, you can get a shirt that you can only get on Twitch. Like little things like that. Whatever it is, like, it'll definitely stay the same. And we've had the discussion about live streams too. All these live streams started happening. The Under Oath live stream was sick, and fucking all these bands started doing these live streams, and I was like, damn, and they were fucking killing it. Like, the Under Oath one was very, 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 very big, and
Yeah.
we were just like, fuck, we couldn't do shit because like it wasn't time yet. We had the same thing, a timeline, and we had to get all our ducks in a row and like wait for the announcement and wait for this and wait for that. So it was like, fuck. So we finally did it, and like we did 2, and they were awesome, and they were successful, and we're like, oh, thinking about doing more of them. And like, there's that thing where it's like, do people still care about the live stream? Like, are people getting over it? And it's like, oh, I think people just want shows again. And it's like,
Yeah, I think it depends. Trivium, I think, and Code Orange set a good example where every time they did one, it was different.
Yes.
It was a different theme. And so I think if people feel, Seven Dust just did their Animosity, I think, 20 year, whatever, however long it was for that.
Yeah.
So when people feel like they're seeing a special show and the band has a good fan base, I think people will want to see it. So it's just a matter of presenting something. Or like I did one with Darkest Hour where they were raising money for a venue, and they had people like me who filled in on guitar, so it was a unique thing that probably you wouldn't see that at a show where you'd see like me and Buzz from Unearth and Mark from Suicide Silence in one show.
For sure.
So
for sure. Yeah, you just have to keep it interesting. I think a really cool example, well, they kind of got it down because this is what they've presented from day one. Like, we took the approach where we were like, new version of the band, no one's seen us or heard us for a minute, we gotta come out fucking swinging, like, hard. You know what I mean? So we came out, the biggest production we could do. Like, this shit was expensive to put on this stream, but like, fucking MXPX, bro, they set up lights and cameras and their own computers in their, like, I think it's in Mike's house where they like rehearse. It's super punk rock. Like, they're interactive on the fucking the chat the whole time, and it's very, very intimate. It looks cool, but it's just intimate and like small.
Yeah.
But like, there's no cost to them. So like, to them, they can do as many as they want because it doesn't cost them any fucking money. It's all self-sustained. But they'll do a different set every fucking time. Like, they've done like 6 or something so far. It's like every fucking set, it's different songs, deep cuts. We're gonna play this album. We're doing whatever. So it's cool because like, you can pay the like $10 or whatever it is and go watch. You never know what you're gonna get. It's gonna be something at least song wise different every time. Like you said too, the Code Orange and Trivium thing. Code Orange, like, they set a precedent too. Like, we kind of sort of did the same thing for ourselves, where their first one was fucking huge. Like, the production was sick. Then the second one was just bigger. Like, the second one was more dope. So it's like, I feel like you have to kind of roll with however you do it, but I'm trying to go the direction where like, I want to figure out how to get a setup that's like dope, so we can just do them all the time and not have to worry about funding them. You know what I mean?
Keep in mind though, we may be less than 6 months away from tours happening, especially outdoor tours. So it might be a solution in search of a problem because it takes so long to even put something like that together. By the time you're ready to go, but the thing is, like I said, it's not and or, right? Just because shows come back doesn't mean live streams shouldn't be something that we think about, or using tools like this. So it just becomes another kind of tool in the tool belt of things we can go to diversify content.
Absolutely. We thought about the live stream thing too, with like say you do have an album come out and you play the album release show in LA, but only the fucking couple thousand people in LA that bought the tickets can go see that show, but you could do like extra bigger, cooler production on that one show and then do a live stream for anyone in the world who wants to watch you play that special show for the album release, whatever. Like you couldn't, no one ever did that before.
Yeah.
No one ever did that shit before. It's such a smart idea, but I mean, it's fucking working. You have companies that are getting bought up. Like fucking the Madden brothers have their Veeps like platform that they just fucking got bought by Live Nation.
That's what Darkest Hour did it through.
Yeah,
Veeps.
It's fucking awesome. I mean, the shit's can. I think it's good. This has taught bands to not only maintain themselves when they can't be a band, but figure out ways to then now just have this other thing that they have on deck too, which is dope. Definitely cool.
No doubt.
No fucking doubt, bro. Well, you got band practice. I'm sure you fucking got to head the fuck out, right?
I do. I live in Long Beach now. I gotta drive to the Valley, son.
Long Beach, dude, you're closer to me, bro.
That's right. Hit me up.
Let's do this.
Let me know where the barbecue's happening, son.
Let's get a beverage. Let's get a meal. You know.
That's right. That's right. I can't eat opportunities, motherfucker. I need food.
Dude, Doc, it's always a pleasure, man. Awesome talking to you. Definitely hope.
Thanks for having me.
For sure. Everyone on the chat really enjoyed it. Annie, you posted all of his links. Everyone go check out everything Doc
Thank
does.
you, Annie. You're the best.
Annie's a shit. All right, bro. Hey, well, I'll talk to you soon, all right?
You be well.
Take care.
You take care. Front man. I'm calling you Frontman Jackson from now on. You just in the front, just soaking in all the rays of the spotlights.
I need a license plate cover. Frontman Jackson.
Frontman Jackson. It's a good place to be. But good luck with everything. We'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
And thanks for having me.
All right, bro. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Oh, what a good dude. Such an epic. Love Doc. We've had so much fun on tour. Definitely go check out their Patreon. Definitely go check out Doc's podcast. Bad Wolves, if you're into Bad Wolves or you were into Bad Wolves, they're a great band. He's a great dude. So many good, talented dudes in that band. Most definitely still support them. And if I can keep that shit going, I want them to continue. We still got a little bit of time on the stream. I'm just gonna hang and chat, see how you guys are doing today. I think a lot of times I like my little chat time at the end of the stream because when we're doing the more of the chatting stuff with guests, we don't spend as much time in the chat. And I want to know how you guys are doing. Elwin, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I want to know how you guys are doing. What's our RTMP server and each band member? Big Papa Ford got you. Wait, Ford, what are you talking about? What are you talking about doing? The old days, yeah, the iPod camera. That shit sucked, but the only reason why I started was Heafy told me to. Ford, what are you explaining to the people right now? I want to know. Are you going to help us do live streams more often? That's awesome. Good to know, BPCG. That's a good thing. Flat out at work, boring shit. Hey, that's all right. At least you're able to work. That's tight. We must be thankful for these things. Did I show you guys I got my stitches out the other day? You can kind of see it. It's got that hurts. Ow. Ow. It was all chunky and weird, but it's totally good now. I don't even know if I'll have a scar. I'm pretty happy about it. Is the next Atreyu single going to be the new song that was performed during the live stream? Maybe not. We were talking about doing an intimate stream done in-house. That's how you do it. So how do you do it? You do a server and each band member streaming to the server that bounces to Twitch channel. Oh, so we could play at the same time? Is that how you're saying that's the thing? We could like play shit at the same time? Yeah, it's not what is it Juicy? It's not, it doesn't feel good, but it doesn't hurt as bad as it did. But when I had my stitches in, it was like puffy. It looked like I had a freaking little mountain range. It was like topography on my skin, but as soon as they took them out, it went all flat. So it was dope. Stitches are out. Yeah, for sure. And it didn't hurt at all to get the stitches out. I've never had stitches before. But yes, it's like looking pretty good, healing pretty good. I think I'm waiting to start. No, Chris, I've been taking it on and off. The bandage I have comes on and off, and it's the new one they gave me is even more uncomfortable. It comes out to like fucking here, like the end of my fingers. So it's like all big. I was a sloth before. Now it's a platypus. But fucking, it makes me sore. So I take it on and off because it actually feels better to have it on. The main reason why they gave me the brace is to keep my hand kind of in this position because they don't want me bending my hand back this way because my tendons got severed. So to fix all these tendons, you need to kind of remain in this position. I can't even do that. I can't even lift my hand past here anyways, and I'm really good at not using my left hand, so it's all good. Yes. Can we expect a new Atreyu single within the next month? I don't know. Maybe. You might. You just might. I don't know. Or you might not. It just depends. It just depends on if it comes out this month or not. I can't answer that question. Please remember the drinking alcohol affects how antibiotics. Oh, I'm not taking antibiotics though. Thank you, Fox. I appreciate it though. I'm not taking any antibiotics. The only medication I'm taking is painkillers, but I only take them sometimes at night when I go to sleep because I don't. It hurts, but I can manage during the day. But at night, it helps me sleep better if I take something. But I have not been taking. I've not been taking antibiotics. But thank you though. I appreciate that. Lainey, all you need to know is that there's plenty more Atreyu coming. We have so much shit coming. It's going to be awesome. Jessica, how are you? How's everyone liking the sound alerts? I think they're funny as fuck. They scare the shit out of me, but I like it. Like, I think that it's funny every time it happens. It's funny when I'm chatting with other people because I react to them and they don't know what's going on. But I think the sound alerts are the funniest thing about this channel now. And I tried to pick some good ones. I tried to fucking pick some funny ones, but I hope you guys are enjoying that. There should be, if you're on mobile, a little button for the sound alerts, or if you're on a computer, you just scroll down and they should be there. I know I added a couple because you guys are sick and weird. There's like one that's like kind of horny because I know the stream gets that way somehow. And then I added Baby Shark, but I made it ridiculous. It's like 2,000 bits because I fucking hate that song. But I know you guys like to fuck with me. So I added that per your choice. But yeah. Oh, there we go. Just to use the applause. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wearing a bandage is best if you need help to remember. Yeah, exactly, Lynn. I don't have to remember that. I'm pretty cognizant because my hand feels so fucking weird. Like from here down, I have almost no feeling like in this whole quarter of my hand. So like it just, my hand feels awkward as shit. So it's always on my mind. What kind of trouble would you get in if you slipped some info about the oncoming music by accident? I wouldn't get in any trouble, but I will tell you there's upcoming music and a lot of it, and a lot of everything. There's a lot of everything coming from Atreyu. So that's all you need to know. Until then, here's the thing. It's actually your guys' fault.
Baby shark, baby shark, baby shark, baby shark.
I'm gonna see. I literally stopped letting my kids watch that because I hate it so much. But thank you for doing that. Now it's gonna be in my head, and I'm fucked for the rest of the day. Hopefully that's the only one for the day. What was I gonna say? It's your fault. See, I'm all fucking distracted now. It's bad. Thank you, Lainey. I appreciate it. And Party World, I'm in very good spirits. There's lots to be happy about. But ouch, my ear. Yeah, they're loud too, which is pretty awesome. Dude, Ford always hits the John Cena one, and it's sick. It gets me so hype. I'm not even like a huge wrestling dude, but that shit gets me so hype. Okay, but anyways, I was saying, it's your guys' fault that music won't come out sooner. Because I'll give you a little insight into a little bit of the music business world. So we release Save Us. Usually when you release a single, it's either what you refer to as a street single. Juski, you have, thank you, I appreciate it. Any bands you're looking forward to dropping new music?
And his name is John C.
That shit's so sick. I like that one a lot. See, it just gets me hyped. But So you release a single, it's either usually like a street single or it's a radio single. A street single is something that the label is not going to spend a lot of money on at radio. You're just going to kind of release it for your fans and let it do what it does. Now, we release Save Us as a street single. Now, the fact that Atreyu has a good history at radio, we have a lot of stations that really support us, Octane, and a lot of other like radio stations, JJO. There's a lot of fucking really great stations that support us. The Razor, there's a bunch of them. We put out a song because it's an Atreyu song. They will support us and play it. So they started playing it at radio. Octane picked it up. They play it at the max amount of times that they're allowed to weekly. So it started moving and it started charting.
Hello, motherfucker.
Yes. Thank you, Fox. Hello to you too. But it started moving and charted. When you're charting, you get top 40. Right now it's like 34. Still, it's 3 months old, has been continually moving up the charts every week. And the streams have not slowed down at all. They've actually gotten higher. The YouTube plays have stayed exactly the same. And radio keeps getting better. Now, another thing too, unless you're like fucking Shinedown or a gigantic band, if you have a song that a station is playing still and you release another song, they're most likely not going to add another song, because the reality is most stations maybe play 15 to 20 current singles. The rest is like older stuff or stuff that's in the catalog. 15 to 20 songs. They're usually not going to play two new songs from a band. So if a song is still working really, really well for a station, they won't just stop playing it and start playing your new song because you told them to, because their listeners are really still reacting to that song. So Octane is one of those stations that will probably play 2 songs, but most other radio stations will not. So KUPD is another fantastic station. They've always supported us. They've always been awesome. We've done their shows and everything. So we had planned to release more music sooner, but we kind of can't because our fans are fucking awesome and they're requesting it at radio. That you guys are listening on Spotify and Apple Music and all this stuff. It hasn't slowed down yet. And to be honest, nobody anticipated that. So it's a good problem to have, but because of that, there's been a little bit of a change in schedule. But I will still say there's tons and tons and tons of music that is going to be coming out. So you don't worry your pretty little head, okay? You don't worry about it. It's going to be coming. It is going to be coming. And there is your lesson in music business. Everyone stop requesting. Yeah, no, don't do that. Yeah, everyone stop. Everyone thought the radio and our team thought that after the holiday break, we would start to fall off on the radio charts. But then we came back from the holiday break and went up 3 slots. So they didn't expect that. We're not having a decent run. Yeah, the UK is different, though. The UK is different with radio. In the US, like every territory has a radio station. So obviously you have like Octane and XM, which is like, nationwide. But every town has radio stations. Every county, every state has multiple rock radio stations. So there's a lot more locally, as an option. Yeah, you need to stop listening to it and stop. No, because the change has already been made now. So if you stop now, it's just going to suck for us. But the song releases aren't going to change. No problem, Lanny. No problem at all. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on, which I'm happy about. I'm happy that it's still going good enough. It's always good when you have to reschedule things because things are going to better than you thought they were going to be. I know you did, Fox. I know you did. But yeah, other than that. But yeah, today's a beautiful day. BPCG said he's been smiling since yesterday. I think that's a good way to be. It's beautifully. Look at the sunshine coming in. Beautiful sunshine in Huntington Beach. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. So only request for the first week so we can No, keep requesting it, and then when the next song comes out, request it even more. Doesn't have a modern rock station anymore. The one we had got swallowed up. Yeah, that happens too. That happens too. Thank you, Fox. We do our best. We're really doing our best. We do our best. Oh, are you fully moved in yet, Danny? Or are you still in the process? I'm assuming because you said you're dead from moving, but are you still in the process? 100%, Laney. Yes, absolutely. We just can't sit on things for that long. I think it's done. We had that discussion too, where like we wanted to wait till touring came back, and I do think that that's a very like viable thought, and like there's it's valid to not want to do stuff if you can't support it with tour, but at the same time, like the consumption, for lack of a better word, of new music and new content and video and merch and all the things that go along with an album aren't really slowed down at all by bands that are releasing stuff now. So obviously you lose that kind of like new record smell as far as touring goes, but I feel like if we release a record and then we can tour within 6 months of that, people will still be excited about hearing those new songs because they've never heard them before. So